Dirty Sports episode 873. We are live on YouTube in 5, 4, 3. Welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast. I am your host, Andy Ruther, coming to you live from Cincinnati, Ohio, with my co-host from Southern California, Joey No Chill Prano.
Hello, Andy.
Morning.
Good morning.
How goes it today on this fine Thursday morning / afternoon?
It's great. I've got a gigantic cup of coffee next to me. I had texted you last night. You had said, "Let's go. What time do you want to do this?" And I said, "Let's go early afternoon. I'm going to get up and go wave slide." And I went as mentioned on last night's Dirty Slides podcast. Dirty Slides wildcard preview playoff show is up now. I mentioned that I went for a wave slide yesterday afternoon. I just woke up this morning, a little shredded from an evening sesh. So I messaged you this morning. I said, "Andy, I'm gonna make it another evening sesh tonight. We can move this podcast up to the morning." And you're like, "Let's go!" You gave me the Tom Brady divorce freedom. Let's go. Throws the Microsoft Surface down, and just you were pumped up. So here we are.
How do you think his pending divorce affects him as a player? Does it help or hurt him? I feel like Tom Brady will be more motivated.
Yeah, I agree. I think Tom Brady, like, it's so funny because like everybody's take is like married to the game, blah, 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 like the whole thing. I just think he now doesn't even have to worry about, I don't think he thought about his wife and children at all before. Now I don't even think he has to think about thinking about his wife and children. So he's just going to be turned. And then, Tom Brady, what a weirdo who like everything is a revenge. Now it's like the Giselle revenge game.
Yeah. Well, I think it's deeper than just him coming back. Everybody wants to point to that, right? Marriages, relationships, they're complicated. So I think it's not just, hey, he retired, he unretired. This is just, again, I know nothing about this. I don't really read the tabloids when it comes to the gossip. It's got to be more than that. But I do think it'll help him. I also think there's something to be said that we don't really talk about. When you're an athlete, whether it's Tom Brady or even a second or third string quarterback, I don't think it's easy to give up something you've done your whole life.
Right.
Because I think a lot of people ask themselves, where do I go now? Right? Let's say you played in the league 7 or 8 years. Let's say you're 30. You've been playing football since you're a kid. And that's the only profession you know. I think it's like, where do you go? Now, obviously, Tom Brady already has a job sitting for him in the booth at Fox. So the where do you go isn't really pertinent to him. But I just think, I think
but it's like he's been doing that his whole career too.
Yes.
So it's like, do you want to,
it's routine.
It's routine. It's like now all of a sudden he retires and he's got to spend all his days watching film of other teams. Oh, wait, no, that's what he does. Watches films of other teams now. Yeah, I mean, but this will be official. It won't be like, hidden camera style. And I just think, there's a little bit of excitement that's lost with that. You're not sneaking around. Like now he's just sitting with like fucking Joe Buck or whoever, and they're actually watching proper game film. I mean, how do you give up like the edge? It's like the fighter pilot.
You had to take a dig. You had to take a dig.
Listen, here's the other thing about Tom Brady. Like do we all agree? I feel like it's not being talked about enough. Do we all agree? I definitely believe like Tom Brady definitely cheating on Giselle, right?
I don't know.
I think he's definitely cheating on Giselle.
I haven't thought about it, to be honest.
Based on two things. One, he fucking ditched a baby mama while she was pregnant. Two.
Well, hold on. To be fair,
historically known cheater across all kinds of different things. I feel like Tom Brady and cheater go together.
I'm not going there. You know, you're a Brady hater. I don't care what you want to say. You're a Brady hater.
I'm a Brady truther.
And I'm a Brady defender. I think well, first of all, the situation with Bridget Moynihan when she was pregnant, they were from everybody who says, of all accounts, they were like already breaking up. She got pregnant. Whatever. I obviously I don't know the full situation. None of us do, but I don't know if I want to go there because I don't know. I just think that Brady, again, all he knows is football. And it is different when you're commentating versus actually playing. And it's funny. So, like, I haven't done stand-up in 2.5
What would be the weirdest story that comes out in the Brady divorce proceedings? I mean, I don't even think him drinking the blood of children would be like the weirdest story. Like, I think there's
going to be anything weird.
No? You think they'll just have multi-million-dollar, like?
Yeah, everything I read was they're already saying it's going to be
amicable,
amicable, joint custody. Rumors say they already had a prenup.
She gets to kiss them on the mouth Monday to Thursday. He gets to kiss them on the mouth Friday to Sunday.
Yeah, it's going to be split. But what I was going to say was I haven't done stand-up in 2.5 years.
Yeah.
And this isn't the best.
When are we getting the Andy Ruther return to stand up?
But see, this is what I'm getting at. Like, I don't really I don't, part of me doesn't want to be around. Like I haven't really gone to any shows because I think then it stirs up a lot of emotions, but not in a bad way. Like I told you, like Lachlan Patterson's coming to Cincinnati next month. I saw on Go Bananas. I'll go see him. I'll bring people out. Like that'll be fun. That's also a friend. It's a little different, but I just think, I don't know. That's kind of my personal comparison of like, I don't sit there and watch Netflix comedy specials. I listen to podcasts with comics.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like that would be my analogy. And not anytime soon, for the record, that I'll do stand up. And who knows? Maybe I'll never do stand up again.
So here's the thing. You said about Brady, you don't think it's about him playing football.
Well, I don't know.
Okay. Because I was like, what's your theory then if it's not just he's playing?
I think that's a part of it. I'm sorry. I think that's a part of it. I think she wanted him to stop. She's complained in the past about the head injuries. I mean, look, guys, we don't know. I don't know if you saw what Joe Burrow said. Joe Burrow's already saying Joe Burrow's 25, 26. He's already saying, and this doesn't surprise me. I don't know if you saw his interview. It made some headlines yesterday. He said, there's games I don't remember. There's halves of games I don't remember. But he also said, look, it's a violent sport. He also wasn't putting any blame.
I mean, Tua woke up this week and was like, so it's LSU week. And they're like, bro, you're in the NFL now. You've been in the NFL for 3 seasons. He's like, wait, what? They're like, you're in your apartment in Miami. He's like, Miami, Alabama? They're like, bro, you were drafted by the Dolphins. He's like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And his coach is like, yeah, that's common with back injuries. So listen, it's wild days out there in the CTE land.
Well, for sure. And that's just to my point, was just that Brady doesn't have, quote unquote, those massive hits that we talk, but that's not true, by the way. If you put into highlights, because Brady, right, has played so damn long, you could actually hit the quarterback when he started. My point is, we don't know the extent.
Some would say that he is the rule change.
Correct.
Some would say they wanted to make a rule that you can't hit Tom Brady, but they just had to make it you can't hit quarterbacks because it would be weird to make that rule.
Sure. So exactly. So my point is, like, we don't know what kind of injuries he sustained. And they've always said that's part of it with her. And she made a comment a few years ago, I don't know if you remember, talking about. So I think this all plays into it. I will be very curious how they perform this week. I think he'll be fine. I think he's so structured and disciplined. He's of that mold that a lot of these guys, the greats are. So I don't know, but I've enjoyed the memes. I just want to say to everybody, I've enjoyed the memes. I've enjoyed all the content. I've enjoyed all the Zach Wilson jokes about him going for Giselle, or again, Brady being, playing in the league until he's 90, whatever it is.
You're here for the memes.
I'm here for the memes. I'm here for the comedy. I'm here for the humor. I think that, actually, I don't know. I was going to say, I think that he would retire after this year. Who knows, man?
Yeah.
I think that's where I would say him and LeBron, to me, have been the most similar as far as that. You're like, when are they going to give it up? But they're still competing at a high level.
Yeah.
I think those two, in my lifetime, those are the only two that I can relate across sports, where you're like, okay, why would they though? If they like it.
Right.
Right. Like in the scheme, I always tell people, in the scheme, he's 45. Like in the scheme of life, people are
I mean, for Tom Brady, and football players, you gotta obviously you don't get to hit Tom Brady like you get to hit every other quarterback. You don't get to hit quarterbacks anymore because of Tom Brady, et cetera, et cetera. But like, you're always one bad hit away from something really terrible happening. With LeBron, if he strains his groin hard or he tears his ACL or whatever, you're looking at 6 months. You're better. It's fine. Like, the chances of it all ending in some sort of nightmare injury are way less. But yeah, for the most part, keep doing it until you don't want to do it anymore.
Did you see the doctor behind the movie Concussion? Basically the guy at the forefront of CTE said Tua should just retire.
I mean, listen, that's that guy.
No, I think he's going to be, on the extreme end for sure.
Yeah, that guy, and that's like, that's going to always garner some press that he's the guy who's from that and he's saying this. But the thing about Tua is, it's not crazy to have that conversation. I mean, I don't think it's going to happen. I think he's going to probably end up playing for a long time, even if it's not in his best interests. But the bottom line is, like, I saw a lot of different tweets and a lot of different stories about people who get basically concussions back to back in a matter of days. And there are horror stories about people dying. There are horror stories about people getting really super fucked up, having traumatic brain injury, like you had in terms of aftermath. So I don't think that's going to happen, but the idea that this isn't a bigger story is kind of crazy to me. It's like, we all watched that happen 4 days apart. And we're, the rest of the world is the Andy Ruther fucking thing, like on to week 5 or whatever it is.
Yeah. And that's the thing. That's just, I think people just don't care enough. And like, from a personal perspective, as somebody who did have a traumatic brain injury, I was thinking a lot about when I would see the neurologist, because obviously I had to have multiple visits, and like the care that I had to have as far as like, I just remember, and I don't know what my stuff would be compared to like a Tua, but I just remember how strict the doctor was as far as the guidelines of, don't do this, do not surf, do not be even careful with whiplash in the ocean. If you're doing, like, it was like so strict. And
you didn't was the end of that, like, severe rules? Did you just go in one day and you were like, I watched fucking MacGruber last night and it was funny? He's like, well, then you're good.
Yeah.
Oh, you can go surfing now. Have you thought about getting back into Demolition Derby? You watched MacGruber and you understood it. You're good to go, buddy.
Yeah. I know. Let's
crazy. Take off that head wrap.
My timeline was about a year for that stuff. It was like, don't do this for a year. Don't ski for a year. And the question always came, okay, what if you wore like a helmet skiing? Or if it's like, this is too serious. And again, I don't know how to compare my personal thing to Tua, but if my stuff was like a year, the point is, I know you and I have that like gentleman's bet, the over under 3.5 weeks. I still think he'll be back within those 3 weeks for his own safety. I hope he's not. I hope I'm wrong, but you're right. It is crazy. Like, it isn't a story. Nobody's really talking about this.
No.
And even Joe Burrow's story, did you like that should be more alerting to people if he's saying, guys, I have pro games. I don't remember second halves. Like I blacked out. And it was like, oh yeah, he's a quarterback. He got hit. He got sacked a lot last year.
Yeah.
He's blacking out. He has no memory of them leading a comeback in the AFC Championship or whatever it is. It's cool. All good. See you Sunday, Joe. Sunday Night Football against the Ravens.
Yeah. Joe Burrow's like, but listen, I'm just out here playing for the Cincinnati Bengals, working hard, trying to get us to our first Super Bowl. And they're like, no, you played in the Super Bowl last year. He's like, are you kidding? I played in the Super Bowl? That's awesome. Did we win?
I'm actually more shocked that you don't see guys with more players that are just so completely jacked up. You know what I'm saying?
I think that you do. And those guys are always hidden away and whatever. But then also, I think once you're out of sight, you're out of mind. Like no one gives a fuck about old players. But I'm surprised you don't hear this more from current players. But then again, I think current players smartly are like, hey, remember that one time that guy shared an opinion and now he's not allowed in football anymore? Maybe we'll save it till after and I'll just shoot myself in the chest with a shotgun and let them study my brain. Peace out, bruh.
Yeah. Did you see
Antonio Brown is fucking whipping his dick out in public. Like Antonio Brown's got
severe CTE.
Yeah.
It really is like Antonio Brown. They could do a whole thing. And I'm not just using that 100% as a scapegoat. That's where I struggle. Like how much of this is a brain injury? How much
I've said it before on this show and I will say it again. If the OJ murders
oh boy. Wait. How do I? Oh, there it is. Sorry.
If the OJ murders happened today, they'd say he did it and that he has CTE. I think that's 100% true. If the OJ murders happened today, they'd be like, he has CTE, he doesn't remember. And it would be a story about the fucking NFL and concussions. And they would be like, should we make up a story about a racist cop? And they're like, no, all the cops in LAPD are racist. It doesn't matter. That's not a story. Let's just fucking say he has CTE.
But see, if that would have happened, so Aaron Hernandez had CTE.
And then they would have put a hat on his head that he wore 10 years ago, but he can't wear anymore because his head's swollen. And they'd be like, if the hat don't fit, you must have quit.
But let me ask.
If he's got CTE, he must go free.
Let's play a hypothetical game here with this. Let's play your strategy out. He confesses to the murders. They go, it's effects from football. They strike some sort of deal because he is, his brain's impaired. My question, how would that affect the NFL? Would it actually do anything? I still don't think it would.
No, I don't think it would. Because Andy Ruther would be like, listen, the OJ story is crazy. But the games this week, we got some games.
I love my football. I do. Don't get me wrong. Like, that's the thing. Like, I just admit it. Like, I love my football. And I know it's a violent sport. And I know it fucks people up. And I take onus on being part of the culture who is not changing things because I'm watching games. But numbers don't lie, Joe. We both know this.
Yeah.
Our show, Dirty Sports, gets way more downloads during football season. We just do. Because people want to hear people have football discussions. Football is such a ingrained part of the American culture now. That's the most American thing ever, right? Like, you used to maybe argue baseball, and we'll hop into a baseball discussion now, but it's not. Like, the playoffs start tomorrow. Everyone's focused on two shitty offense, the Colts Broncos tonight.
Yeah.
Like, people are like, aren't even really.
Not us baseball heads over at the Dirty Slides podcast. Me and baseball Andy, your bizarro Andy in the Dirty Sports podcast universe. We dropped a wild card playoff preview, and I won't spoil it because I want you to head over there, you guys, to listen. But Andy, Lazarus, and I agree on all 4 of the wild card winners.
Really?
Yes. And we're fairly confident in all of them. Honestly, the one that's, well, maybe not the one that we're least confident in, but maybe the one we disagree the most on is he's higher on the Mets than I am.
Interesting.
Yeah. I'm still on the I need Jacob deGrom to be great campaign.
Well, the 3-game series to
I like
start.
this. I like this.
You like it?
I really do. We talked about it to start the year, and then I completely forgot about it. And then we did multiple episodes of this show and the Dirty Slides podcast where I was confused even by how many wildcard teams there are. I still don't like this many teams in the playoffs, but what I do like is that we don't have a 1-game wildcard series. And what else I do like is I like 3 games in a row, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, like it's a regular season series, all played at the the higher seeds home field. I love that. The onus is on you to win on the road. You got to win your division or have the single best, wild card record. Otherwise, you've got to play a road series. And I like that.
Yeah. No, I like the format.
One game wild card games are stupid.
Yeah, I like the format like you said, where it's a regular 3-game series like you'd have in the regular season. I like that. The higher seed gets the home games. There'll be a lot of baseball on the next few days, next few weeks.
Four baseball games, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's 4 playoff baseball series, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's glorious.
Yeah. So the good news for them is that there's no games in the NFL on Friday and Saturday.
Right.
That's the good news for Major League Baseball. I think when you live in a town where the team is so bad, your interest level is hindered, like the Reds who lost 100 games.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like
you don't give a shit.
Well, it's like, dude, when you're just, it's like a battered housewife. I've just been beaten for so many years, right?
Yeah.
Like it doesn't matter the owner. I've just been beaten. Occasionally you think, okay, he's going to stop beating me. Like, oh, we had a couple good years in a row. We made the playoffs 2 years in a row. Okay. He's calmed down. He's not coming home drunk. He's not beating me. And then the beatings start again. And that's what I am. Just a battered, beaten housewife.
Well, listen, I'm obviously very turned for baseball. We have the Mets, hopefully not even playing a Sunday night game. But if they have a game 3, it'll be at 4 or something on Sunday. And I'm rooting for, obviously, there not to be a game. But the Sunday night football game is Cincinnati, Baltimore. 2 teams that we've had a ton of hot takes on. Randy Ruther's driving his scooter around fucking North Scottsdale or wherever he lives, going door to door saying, Joe Prano, the what did he call me? The betrayer, the fucking turncoat, I forget what his
backstabber,
the Benedict Arnold. He's been going around and listen, I've had Lamar Jackson hot takes. I've had Randy Ruther hot takes. I've had Joe Burrow hot takes. If there's a Mets game that starts at 4:00 on Sunday, I will not watch a single snap of that football game. Well, maybe during commercials.
You'll be missing out because I expect that's going to be a fun game. Obviously, division rival, 2 young quarterbacks, 2 former Heisman winners. Like there's a lot of storylines there. Guys in their rookie deals. You'll end up watching.
Well, here's the
Or
thing.
you have a second TV.
I probably won't have a second TV. I'm not in the second TV business anymore these days.
Okay.
But what would normally happen is and here's probably my only thing. This is my only complaint about streaming television. I love streaming television. I actually prefer it to old school television.
Me too.
There's just one button I miss. The last button. I miss the last button so much.
I agree.
Just being able to go last channel, flick back and forth, tick, 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 tick. Just going back. You have HBO late night porn on, but you also have Sports Center on, and you're just ready to switch back if your parents come downstairs. Just give me the last button.
You still make those like softcore porns?
I don't know. Remember like Dream On HBO? Remember like shows that were just like, was this a porn?
Yeah. Well, I remember, HBO had them, but I remember like
Showtime and Cinemax. For sure. I think, was it Showtime used to be in the Shannon Tweed game hard.
Oh,
Love Shannon Tweed.
What was the show on HBO? Real Sex?
Yeah.
Some of my earliest
What
jokes.
about the Cat House? Remember the Cat House?
Yeah.
That was the one about the dude up there in Reno or whatever it is.
That's right. No, that's a Bunny Ranch.
The Bunny Ranch. Yeah, but I think it was called Cat House or something like that.
Was it?
Yeah.
I had some of my earliest jokes that I wrote. I had they were about taxi cab confessions.
Yeah.
This is when I
love taxi cab confessions.
No, it was great. And this is when I lived in Vegas. And the jokes still kind of make me giggle. I'm sure I wrote terribly and performed them terribly. But the premise for my jokes, which is true, was like, yo, dude, that's back. Like the idea, obviously things are different how they're produced. But I was like, dude, this is wild to me. Like you get in a random cab, just some dude driving, and you're like, yeah, I'm just going to tell you all my deepest, darkest, weirdest secrets. Many of them were sexual.
Yeah.
Like, hey, can you, my jokes were like, yeah, can you take me down to Caesar's Palace? By the way, I'm cheating on my wife with 2 dudes. And you're like,
yeah.
The guy's like, tell me more. We're going to keep driving.
Yeah.
Like,
sorry, I missed a turn. We're going to have to make a U-turn. Are you the top or the bottom or the middle of the sandwich?
Or like, remember they'd show like people hooking up.
Yeah.
People get in the back of the taxi cab and they'd be like having sex and the person's just driving.
Yeah.
What's weird is Taxi Cab Confessions was a precursor to what was the Ben Bailey show?
Cash Cab.
Where he drives around New York and they can win cash. They need to combine those two.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, do you give her a shocker right now? Here's $50.
Yeah.
Like combine Cash Cab and Taxi Cab Confessions. Hey, if you pull your dick out
for $50, tell me your deepest, darkest secret.
Yeah.
Okay, now for $100, finger this woman who's not your wife.
Oh man, you reminded me of my old jokes. I used to have a whole bit too on that Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous, and dude, these jokes are so bad. I would do like my Robin Leach voice.
That's hilarious.
Remember, he'd always say, "For me, $200 million."
Yeah.
I used to one of my hack jokes was like, I was like doing J-Lo and I was like, "For me, $200 million. You too can have a Tyrannosaurus Rex baby egg made of crystals." And remember, he would just say like, "Oh, what more can you get?" Like it was, Joe, look, you got me going. Maybe I'll go back tonight. I'll find a local mic tonight. Hop on stage.
See if you can do a guest spot with Lachlan and then just go up there and do jokes all about shows from the early 90s that were not even on the air the first time you started doing the jokes.
Oh yeah. Yeah. No, for sure.
Here's a premise for you guys. What about combining lifestyles of the rich and famous with Taxi Cab Confessions? For a mere $200 million, you can finger your girlfriend in the back of my yellow cab.
Oh man. God. I still have like all my written jokes, notebooks. I kept all that shit or stuff I printed out. Like, did you keep that stuff?
Well, funny story, and I don't know if I've told it on this show before, but when I was probably, how old was I? I was probably 28, let's call it 27, 28. At one point I decided, because a lot of my early tapes, this is how old I am, guys. A lot of my early tapes were on VHS.
Wow.
Then I had DVDs. Then I had like tons of notebooks, and I used to like print out sets when I would like go on the road. I'd be like, oh, I'll print the whole set and like look at it as I'm like doing the thing. I had all of it in a fucking bag in my car one time, and somebody stole it out of the backseat of my car in New York City in Hell's Kitchen. And the like years and years and years of tapes, notes, notebooks, all taken. The guy probably looked at it, was like, well, this is trash, and threw it in the garbage.
Can you imagine if that person went back and was just studying all your old stand-up? Like, that's actually pretty hilarious.
Yeah.
So let me get this straight. You now in your life, this is kind of fascinating. You've had all your old stand-up tapes, notes, jokes stolen, and you also had all your laundry stolen from a laundry.
Yeah. People are garbage.
In Venice Beach.
Yeah.
Like, those are two random things to steal. Someone's comedy and someone's clothes.
Yeah. I mean, I think the guy just stole a bag out of the backseat of a car. He saw an old Cadillac. He figured he could, it probably doesn't have an alarm. Broke in, grabbed my bag, ran off with it, realized there was nothing in there except a bunch of weed. Took the weed and threw the rest in the trash. Yeah. So
you remember when I caught that woman stealing my sandals in Venice Beach?
Yeah. Yeah, that's hilarious.
I come back from my run. Right as I come back, the timing could not have been more perfect. I see her pick up my sandals and I go, hey, what are you doing? They're my sandals. Like $3 Target sandals too.
For a while, when I was walking around Venice, I was like, I have some pretty I had in that wash, I had some pretty epic t-shirts. I was always waiting to see somebody in like a very specific Joe Prano t-shirt. I'd be like, you motherfucker, you have a Thus the Process shirt? I have a feeling that you, sir, are not a fan of the Dirty Sports Podcast since you don't have shoes on. I also felt the same way about my old jokes. I was waiting for somebody to start doing my jokes.
Oh my God.
Somebody to arrive on the scene. I'd be like, hey,
what would be a joke?
Which makes me think maybe Neil Brennan stole my bag. Shots fired.
You think he's got like similar jokes?
There's an old story. I've told it on a couple of different podcasts, but he used to hang out in the Boston Comedy Club in the back when he was just the guy who wrote Half Baked with Dave Chappelle. And suddenly, a very similar joke to Joe Prano started popping up in various Neil Brennan based performances and sketches.
Interesting.
Yeah.
He used to live in Venice too.
Yeah. This was in New York, but
okay.
He used to live in New York when that was happening as well.
What if you saw him wearing a Thus the Process shirt?
I'd be like, you motherfucker, you've stolen everything from me.
Oh, man.
I'd be like, anyway, come to my new special taping. 4 mics.
There you go.
What do you mean? It's not the same as yours. It's 4 mics.
So we have a baseball call.
Okay.
And we've gone over this, but I think Bryson's calling just to clarify. And I think we'll go over this again. It's not a team specific call, but it's something that we've harped on the show.
Okay.
And we'll just reiterate our stance based on his call.
Okay.
What's up, boys? Stripper Dirtball Bryson calling to you from Atlanta. I think we talked about this a few years ago on the podcast, but I went to the Braves Mets game Sunday, and I'm tired of seeing it, man. Too many grown-ass men with baseball gloves at these fucking games. So can we explain to the dirtballs and give a rule and an analogy on how it's really never okay as a grown-ass man to bring your glove to a game? I guess maybe if you come in for warm-ups and you bring your son that's like 7 or younger, maybe.
No,
that's somewhat acceptable. I don't think it's ever acceptable as a grown-ass man to bring a baseball glove to a game. And I believe the guy that caught Aaron Judge's home run had a fucking baseball glove on. So that in itself blows my mind. But yeah, so can we give an analogy or a breakdown on if it's ever okay to wear a baseball glove to a game? Stay dirty.
So grown men with baseball gloves at games.
I mean, I think that the absolute only exception is essentially what his last point, which is like, if you're going to sit in the left field bleachers in a game where somebody's about to fucking break the all-time whatever record, yeah, bring a glove. Fuck it. I mean, the difference between $2 million, like I'll be a cuck for $2 million.
Oh yeah,
I'll be cucktastic for $2 million bucks.
I mean,
so in that situation, and I said this the other day after the 61st home run where she hit up in Toronto, you bring that glove, you better fucking catch it. Because you just lost not the $2 million you were about to make for being a cuck. Now you just got 2 million cuck points because you wore your glove and then fucking dropped it.
Yeah.
The other exception, and I wouldn't do it, but I would say the other exception is if you are like going to the outfield for the home run derby or something like that. And even that, I wouldn't do it. I'd probably just go, I'll catch with my hands or not. But this, I don't know why your child can wear a glove to the game. We set the rule at 12. That was my rule. I said it on this show before. 12 years old. When you move to the big, if you're a baseball player, when you move to the big diamond, you can't wear your glove to baseball games anymore. 12 is the hard cutoff.
Yeah, the only exception is if you're special needs as an adult. Like if you're,
which by the way is sort of a, it's sort of a.
Can I say that anymore? By the way, is special needs been outlawed too?
I don't know. We're gonna play it. We're gonna play it like it's politically correct, just for the sake of this conversation. But I will say this: it's a catch-22. You can only wear a glove as an adult to a baseball game if you're special needs. But I would also counter with, if you wear a glove, you are special needs.
I see that. That's true.
Like, is there something wrong with your brain development? It's like, no, I just wear a glove. It's like, I think you should double check that. I think you might be.
Yeah. The thought of putting a glove in a car, on the subway, taking it out of that, walking into the park, that is a very juvenile mindset. You probably are special needs.
And also, Bryson is a guy who thought of this at the Braves-Mets game, showing up in a headdress with a gigantic bass drum, also unacceptable. Also, if you're a fraternity guy from Ole Miss, you're not allowed to paint your face with Cherokee war paint and bring a bow and arrow to the game either.
I think you should. I think you should totally do it. Double down on that, Braves fans. Triple down on it. I know you are. Are you still fighting with Braves fans?
Well, every day. So that's what, and I said this again to somebody yesterday. I don't know what percentage of these guys are dirtball Braves fans or what percentage of these guys are just your typical Braves fan who, for some reason, goes on Twitter and types in Braves every day. But every day, something, and then people get in, and then they get in, and they're like, "Oh, we live in your head." I'm like, I literally just replied to Braves. Like, I don't know who any of you people are. I don't know who any of you are.
Is there a part of you that wants the Mets to play the Braves in the NLCS?
Yes. For a variety of reasons. One, will be in the NLCS. Two, a bit of potential revenge. Three, and the Braves, have the Braves won our season series 7-6. The Braves swept us in Atlanta. And I don't really love the idea of having to play a 7-game series with 4 games happening in Atlanta. But all that being said, historically, even as a Mets fan, we have way worse history with the St. Louis Cardinals, which would potentially be the other NLCS opponent, unless, of course, somehow the Philadelphia Phillies get through St. Louis and then Atlanta, which I don't think will happen. In order of teams I would like to play in the NLCS, it would go Phillies, then Braves, then Cardinals.
That's interesting. So Phillies, then Braves, then Cardinals.
Yeah, because we've owned the Phillies this year. The Braves, I'd like a little bit. I'd like potential revenge. And I fear going to Atlanta a little bit, but not as much as like St. Louis just has I mean, I'm still not over some of the fucking losses we've had to St. Louis over the years.
Well, I think a lot of teams can say that, right? Like
Yeah,
they're that team. I mean, they do that to the Dodgers all the time for a while. It's like
I know. That's why I want nothing to do with them.
They're that team that you just
I know the
Braves
face. in a weird post-COVID season where guys had to miss games and blah, blah, blah. They won their World Series, but also they've been in the NL East for like 25 years. They've won the NL East 17 times. Historically, they don't get to the World Series because they're choke artists. So let's do it. Now you might have your Mickey Mouse title last year, but historically you're chokers.
I wonder if Major League Baseball really wants a Yankees-Dodgers World Series.
I'm sure that's high on their list of matchups.
Right? Like for the ratings, the two biggest markets.
Yeah.
The payrolls.
I'm sure it's high on their list.
You would think that would be number one on their list.
Probably. Mets, Yankees, potentially.
Yeah. That'd be good too. I don't know. You know, I'm tossing out the conspiracy stuff. It's like, how much of that do they want to put into play? Because I do think when it comes to playoffs, I think these sports leagues definitely try to curate it a certain way if they can.
I've been very nice to the Yankees lately. You know, I said I was rooting for Aaron Judge. I truly am an Aaron Judge fan. Like, good for Aaron Judge. Nice season. It's not 73. That's whatever. But you know, I don't hate this Yankees team as much as I've hated some in the past, but I'll add two things. One, congratulations to NL and Major League Baseball batting champion Jeff McNeil. He now leads Derek Jeter in career batting titles 1-0. And second of all, and
I mean, we're really doing that. We're really gonna take a shot at Jeter there.
Yeah. He now leads, and listen, he has many more years in his career to potentially extend his lead. But just a kind reminder, Derek Jeter won 0 batting titles and 0 MVPs. And basically everything that he did besides stockpiling 3,000 hits while playing awful shortstop for a team, the only team that would ever allow him to play that long, is get 3,000 hits.
I'll be honest. I think you're reaching.
On what?
I mean, you disregard.
No, it's a fact. Derek Jeter never won a batting title.
No, I know that's a fact, but I'm saying this comparison, Jeter still has a full career, 3,000 hits.
Yeah.
Very timely, clutch, good at hitting in the playoffs.
Oh, no doubt about that. Yeah. And, you know, it was cool for him to be the guy with like the little bloop single before the roid players came up and did the real damage. But, you know, listen, it was great. If
we can make a list, guys, if we can make a list of guys Perino wants to take digs at, it'd be interesting for me. Like, I don't know how I'd rank it.
I mean,
like,
Roger Clemens just going out there, literally roid raging, throwing like broken shards of bats at people, holding teams to 0 runs, and then Derek Jeter bloop single in the 9th, so they win 1-0, and they're like, he's the fucking hero.
No, but like if we had to rank some of the greats all time, like if we had to rank Jordan, Brady, Jeter, I wonder how I'd rank.
I mean, honestly, you listen.
No, as far as guys you want to take digs at, it's kind of interesting.
I'm a Jordan and a Brady and a Derek Jeter truther, but honestly, even to mention Derek Jeter in the class of guys who are arguably the best player to ever play their sports, it's offensive.
Yeah, I agree to that for sure.
Yeah. Anyway, back to the Yankees. My other thing, and you can get, I didn't really even say this on the Dirty Slides, but I did talk about, we did make our predictions on who we thought was going to win the wild cards. I'm going to make my first pre-Nostradamus Dirty Sports Podcast baseball playoff prediction. And if you want more hot takes and predictions, you'll have to go over to the Dirty Slides, available on all podcast platforms, except for some of them. The Yankees lose to the Rays in the ALDS.
Wow. So the Rays make it through.
That's my prediction. The Rays make it through and then beat the Yankees.
Here's something wild that I saw. To me, this is a perfect stat to show the current state of baseball and the fandom. The Reds lost 100 games. They have their lowest attendance ever, no surprise, at Great American Ballpark, which has been around since 2003. All these awful numbers. Yet, and again, this is actually paid attendance, so I want to clarify, not butts in seats. Yet, with all that said, Joe Prano, the Reds' paid attendance was still higher than Cleveland, who won 90 games.
Yeah.
And their division. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, to me,
little
that
Battle of Ohio here.
But like that stat alone, you win 90 games, you win your division, you're a good team, and you have less attendance than the team down the road who loses 100 games. Like, that is baseball right there. If the Cavs are good, they're putting butts in seats. The Browns are good or bad, they're putting butts in seats.
Well, to be fair, the Cleveland Guardians fans had to like go to, the fucking state capitol with signs talking about how getting hand jobs from masseuses is not illegal, and how, if the fucking massage oil don't fit, you must have quit or whatever. So
yeah,
they were busy. Football is still king in Ohio.
You know it is, but you know what's funny? I was just thinking, if you did a Venn diagram of the Cleveland fan who was upset that they changed the name, but conversely defended Deshaun Watson, like that's a fascinating Venn diagram for me.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I think it's a circle.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, will defend, like adamantly defend a rapist, but show just as much energy getting mad about a team named after a group of people that were never from India.
Right. The people, there have been polls, Andy. It wasn't offensive to white people that took a poll.
I love polls, for the record. Like, I love, like, are we, like, it's 20, can we talk about this? It's 2022 and we're still doing polls.
Yeah.
Like, when are we going to learn? Like, you can't take 1,000 people and say, we're going to quantify this.
Well, I was arguing about the Braves, and somebody said there was a poll and only 20% of people are offended by the Braves chant. And I said, that's fine, but you're also just basically saying you don't give a fuck about those 20% of Native Americans. And the person said it wasn't a poll of Native Americans. It was a poll of all people. And I was like, oh, I don't think you think you're making the point that you think you are. Like, so probably a higher percentage of Native Americans would be offended by it. Oh, random white people in Atlanta who like on their way into the stadium dressed as fucking chief fucking, Ozuna or whatever they fucking call themselves. Chief Ozuna who sleeps with, beats his wife. They're not offended. We know, we get it.
There's a great picture of me in a full headdress at a Pilgrims and Indians party, like 2010. So you guys can go ahead and cancel me for that.
Yeah.
I believe it's
or you could just be like, I was at a Braves game. It's fine.
Oh man. Well, I know you'll be watching those games, and I'm sure you'll have some cold Miller Lights ready while you watch.
You know it.
Because this weekend you get baseball and football. So it's going to be a Miller Lite bonanza.
My cold Miller Lights are going to calm my nerves throughout. What will only for sure be an exciting weekend of sports. I mean, even if we don't have a Mets game Sunday, I've got Friday, Saturday playoff baseball. I will probably be having my earliest Miller Lite of the year on Sunday. Giants, Packers from London. That's a 6:25 a.m. Miller Lite cracking.
You know what sounds good for you? This is what I would do. Little Miller Lite with some eggs.
Yeah.
Maybe you get some little steak. You know, do some little hash browns or some sort of potatoes.
Yeah. Or maybe just lean into the game being in London and I get some like blood sausage and just beans straight out of a can.
Ooh, I would pass on that.
Just fresh tomatoes covered in some sort of oil and put on a plate all separately, like some sort of weird prison meal.
Yeah, stay away from that English food. But what we should do is hopefully, well, I would assume
you're like, you should get up in the morning, make yourself some steak and eggs, maybe some hash brown. The Brits like, go game, go beans and tomatoes. You like toast?
Well,
you like beans on your toast?
I'm sure all the Packers fans, obviously, they live in Miller Lite country. Let's Light. I'm sure they're bringing the Miller Lite with them to the UK because Miller Lite means good friends, great beer, and football all Sunday long. Guys, since 1975, Miller Lite has been a mainstay in the stadium, at the tailgate, and in your fridge. Don't we know it? Football season brings back the big hits, so bring the biggest hit of them all, Miller Lite. You can find Miller Lite pretty much everywhere beer is sold, or go to MillerLite.com/dirty sports to find delivery options near you. It's Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces. Good time of year, man. We talked about it last episode.
It's a great
recently.
time of year.
The fall, man. Underrated. I might even take it one step further. I might even say the fall is better than the summer in places like Ohio where it's too humid. I'm gonna lean into that a little.
Yeah, I think fall is the dominant season.
Yeah. So Draymond Green punched Jordan Poole in practice this week. Did you see this?
I did not see it. We Andy Laz and I talking about it last night on slides. We didn't end up talking about it because I had not seen the story. Give me the story because I don't know anything about it.
All right. So I'm reading the story was leaked by Shams on The Athletic. There was a physical altercation at the Warriors practice Wednesday morning. The team is taking seriously and considering disciplinary action for Draymond Green. When a heated interaction with guard Jordan Poole escalated, Green forcefully struck Poole and needed to be separated swiftly, per sources. Green and Poole came chest to chest with both players pushing and shoving each other prior to Green's escalation on the physical altercation. Poole and Green have been known to regularly get into verbal arguments, but the line was crossed here. The Warriors stopped practice. So internal discipline is imminent. I don't mind this, this two guys.
Yeah, we can. You want to hear the whole story? Listen to Draymond Green podcast. Live on Spotify. Why can't Draymond Green close his mouth?
He looks like that one character in Star Wars. I'm going deep in Star Wars. Like, this is like, I think a bounty. Am I thinking of a bounty hunter? Or am I thinking of one of the guys in the bar in the first one, A New Hope? I'm going to find a side by side. You probably have no clue I'm talking about.
No clue.
The guy who's got like the weird looking mouth. That's how Draymond Green looks. Look, fighting is going to happen within teammates. Like, to me, that just means they're competitive. I don't buy that. I mean, Jordan punched Steve Kerr.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying it's always justified, but like, Usually you're fighting with your teammates means that you care. We see it all the time in NFL training camp.
Man, Andy Ruther, fucking domestic abuse victim. I hate you because I love you, baby. You make me do this to you. Why you gotta make me do this?
I'm just saying they won a title. Like, dude, if this was a dumpster fire organization, I'd care. It might be different. They won a title last year.
Yeah.
Like,
but also, it's just
they'll make it work.
It's just low intellect. The bottom line is Draymond Green's a fucking idiot. Like, if you think this is the best, I've been in a lot of fights, and I've been in a lot of fights on basketball courts specifically because things are, but like, this is your teammate, dude.
Yeah, but do you think sometimes this can bring them closer together ultimately?
I don't know.
Right. Like, you ever get in a fight with somebody? I'm not talking like a physical fight, like where then from that,
maybe I'm just getting old and, fucking woke or whatever, but it's like, we still having a fist fight. You guys are millionaires.
No, for sure.
What are you fighting about?
Look, I wouldn't look. This is like last resort. I'm just saying, like, I don't think from my perspective, it's that big of a deal when they obviously worked fine together last year.
We're going to have them on podcast, talk about it. We're going to settle it on the podcast.
Or maybe that was it, Joe. It was staged. It was staged to get downloads, and he's going to join his podcast next week.
Yeah.
I don't know. Did you watch the Manning cast? Did you watch Steph Curry in the Manning cast?
I did not watch Steph Curry on the Manning cast. I watched parts of the Manning cast, but I missed Steph.
They had him on a while. It was good.
Yeah.
It was just interesting talking about him growing up around the NBA and the advantage he had, him and his brother, and the comparison of Eli and Peyton.
Eli and Peyton are my favorite. I mean, it's the best thing ever.
Growing up around their dad, obviously, in the NFL.
Yeah.
Dude, they really are. And I'll tell you what, I don't, at this point, here's where that show is with me. I have to view it, if that makes sense. Like, I can't just, it's not like football in the past would be a background noise for me. This is like, I want to hear what they're saying. I want to hear what their guests are saying. I will rewind it if I miss something.
Yeah.
It's one of those for me. I mean, they were so funny. They're so on the spot with that streaker. I shouldn't even say streaker, whoever ran on the field, and Eli making the joke. Well, dude, if you're going to do it, at least be nude. And just the disgust on Peyton's face and just how they did it and just everything about that show. And obviously they're doing that now with Pat McAfee for college football. It's like, this brand and this idea is so smart.
It's so great. And they're the best. And Pat's great too.
Yeah.
It's great because it's proof, or it's like something that we've all been begging for so long. It's like, stop putting the worst, boringest cheddar dicks on. Who gives a shit about the fucking, play-by-play call? We just want interesting, entertaining people.
Have you seen, and it was posted on our Reddit, have you seen this Chris Collinsworth old YouTube video?
No.
Bro. It is wild. And the visual, you're going to have to see the visual. I'll play the audio. Dude, the fact that this is out there, and I'm not trying to be like a cancel guy, but like, this is wild. This is a promo during a 1984 Monday Night Football game.
Okay.
So this is like a halftime. I wouldn't even call it a promo. This is like a piece of the show where they're talking about, dude, you got to watch this. I'll send it to you, but I'm going to play the audio. The audio will be,
let's go.
This is 1984. Collinsworth is playing for the Bengals, and they're talking about, which is a weird piece to do.
It's weird that during the interview, he says he can see Walt Ruther's house from the ridge.
Well, the premise is talking about NFL guys and dating. I mean, it's just like the most.
I feel like I've seen this, but okay, play it again.
This is wild.
I feel like we've talked about this on the show.
This is wild.
Well, recently I spoke to some of the most eligible NFL players to find out if they really are screening singles or just how much of that is really a myth.
I think being a bachelor and playing football have a lot of similarities between them. You go out, and there's not anything in the world any more competitive than going out and trying to find the girl.
So now they cut again. I'll post this video. That's Collinsworth. They cut to like a cameo of him like dancing with girls. Dude, the last like 20 seconds are wild.
Chris Collinsworth is a wide receiver with all the right moves, on and off the field. Like the crafty player he is, you never know when to take him seriously. So, Chris, why do you think those girls really like you?
I think probably because of the money, you know, and I'm not going to deny it. I walk around with $100 bills hanging out of my pockets usually, and try and give it my best shot, because before I ever made any money, it was pretty much big nothingsville.
Hold on a second. So Collinsworth says he's walking around with $100 bills in his pocket because before that it was big nothing. That's the most Collinsworth line ever. Big nothingsville.
Yeah. He's like, I actually zip the $100 up in my fly, and then I do the monkey dance. I do I do the little Chris shimmy, if you know what I mean.
Wait until you hear how this thing ends. And again, to reiterate, this aired during Monday Night Football.
I like girls that aren't too bright because you can trick them a little bit.
Okay. I like girls who aren't too bright because you can trick them a little bit. And then it gets worse.
Punk rockers all love me. Those are my big girls. And high school girls love me. 14 to 18, I'm a big star with them. As soon as they mature, after about 18 years old, they start figuring out that, wait a minute, I know there's better than that out there, you know.
14 to 18?
Yeah.
Bro.
He's like, I like stupid girls and young girls because they're not smart enough to realize that there's no H in my name, and I was born with both male and lady parts. Chris, no, why are you saying this on Monday Night Football?
Dude, they aired this. And again, this isn't me being like, oh, he should be canceled. Like, I'm not even
Can I be the one that's like, can we can't, like, honestly, just cancel Chris Collinsworth because he's annoying.
But like, what's crazy to me is like, he's talking about 14 to 18-year-old girls.
Yeah.
He's 20. I looked him up. He's 25 when this was recorded.
Yeah.
I think he has addressed it. I think you're right. I think
we've talked about this on this show.
Have we?
Yeah. Also, I just love, by the way, that he's playing in Cincinnati when this happens. This is 1984. He's playing in Cincinnati. He talks about being into 14-year-old girls and the idea of Pete Rose just running across to the football locker room, sprinting through the fucking tunnels of Riverfront Stadium to fucking, Chris, we're going drinking. Get in the car.
Oh, shit.
And then they're on fucking Pete Rose, his fucking weird head, driving fucking Chris Collinsworth out to the bar. He's like, I got $1,000, says you can't pick up a 13-year-old tonight. He's like, you and the gambling, Pete.
Oh, my God.
Double or nothing, you can't pick up two 13-year-olds.
Pete Rose with one of the wildest defenses of all time. I thought she was 16.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Chris Collinsworth is like, my window's closing. 16. Students will be able to look up in an encyclopedia what a hermaphrodite is.
He said, I like girls that aren't too bright. Dude, again, I just want to know.
Pete Rose in his fucking sliding shorts and fucking flip-flops sprinting through the fucking hallways of Riverfront like he's Tom Cruise in Vanilla Sky. I'm coming, Chris. Why didn't you say so, buddy? Get in the car. Why do you have child seats in the back? He's like, you'll see.
That's going to be R. Kelly's defense when they just keep slapping more charges. He's like, dude, I saw this video in 1984. I thought it was totally legit. He was a star wide receiver. He played for the Bengals. I thought this was totally acceptable. We're good, right? I must have watched that 5 times the other day. I couldn't stop laughing. I sent it to my brother, and he goes, "Where'd you find this?" And I said, "Well, somebody posted it on Reddit because somebody made a TikTok." And I go, "I've seen it before." And he's just like, he couldn't wrap his head around. This is real.
Let's just be happy Walt was gone before this came out. Would have ruined him. He'd have been so upset.
My dad's like, if you look closely, you can see a 14-year-old girl on Chris Collinsworth's property.
Sir, Mr. Ruther, are you looking at 14-year-olds through your telescope? He's like, yeah, but they're on Chris Collinsworth's property. Technically, I'm looking at Chris Collinsworth's house. They just happen to be there. Are Chris Collinsworth and Pete Rose hosting some sort of Sweet 16 party for somebody? Oh, no, that's an orgy.
Dad's like, if you look close enough, you can see the quinceañera party going on at the Collinsworth house.
Fun fact about why Chris Collinsworth lives just on the Kentucky side of the border.
Did he tell you every time you visited that you could see Chris Collinsworth's house?
Yes.
Every time.
Well, what he would do is every time you and I were going somewhere, he would remind you to show me, like when we're crossing the bridge, where Chris Collinsworth's house is. He's like, don't forget, when you're going over there, you can see Chris Collinsworth's house right there. Show Joe.
My dad must have told me that story a million times post bowling, how a bunch of the Bengals showed up to the unofficial chili sponsor of the Bengals, the other one, Skyline. I mean, he must have told my story 20 times. He's like, the Bengals showed up. Collinsworth was one of them. You know, we had already had a few beers, and they had a few beers. It was late night. And we were like, we should play you guys in bowling. And I'm like, what my dad failed to mention was that actually happened. And Collinsworth's +1 was a girl at a local high school.
Yeah.
A little awkward.
Chris Collinsworth walked in. He's like, I'll have a 14-way. And they're like, what's a 14-way? He's like, it's a 2-way poured onto a 12-year-old.
Oh, man. I just like dumb girls.
Yeah.
I'm just a boy from Florida. I just like dumb girls. Imagine the pairing now. He's with Tarico.
Yeah.
Who tried to like finger bang a girl through his car window, according to that ESPN book.
Yeah.
What are those pre-production meetings like?
That's why Chris is like, listen, Mike, this is why we don't go for girls who are old enough to drive. They can't put a window up on their bike. Try speeding away on your fucking 10 speed.
Well, we've officially kissed goodbye any potential for Pro Football Focus ads in the future, but hey,
sure.
They haven't done ads with us for a while anyway. Remember we did a few ads for them?
I don't remember.
Yeah, that's his company, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. They actually paid decent too. But hey, you know what? See, guys,
bye forever.
Don't call us a sellout. Like, we'll give up the money for some hilarious Chris Collinsworth jokes.
A girl's too young for me unless she can legally drink a Miller Lite with me.
Yeah, exactly.
Miller Lite, the official sponsor of the Dirty Sports Podcast.
It's funny you did it that way. What I was going to say was we should jump into this week's picks. Speaking of sponsors, I'm sure they'd love this segue too. Presented by our friends at Prize Picks.
I love Prize Picks.
How are you doing on there?
I'm not doing well. Last week I went 0 for 3.
Yeah.
I've had a couple wins, but I like to go with the cool thing about Prize Picks. You can do 2, 3, 4. I like to go big. I like to go with the big, the big 3-way 4. It's like going to order at one of the chili spots.
Yeah.
3. But last week I took an offer because
last week was tough.
Yeah. I did an offer on the quarterback.
Bless you. So dirt balls.
But you know what I have been doing? This is my hack so far. The way I've been making up for my quarterback misplays is I've just been going more thans on Saquon every week.
Ah.
Prize Picks is not caught up with the fact that Saquon is going to go off Chase basically every week.
Yeah. No, that's good. We can hop ahead right now. Once again, on Prize Picks, guys, if you haven't signed up, all first-time users that deposit and use code DIRTY will receive a 100% instant deposit match up to $100. So if you guys love playing your daily fantasy, this is the spot to sign up. And you're just competing against the projections. So like right now, we can look at the projections. 76.5 rushing yards for Saquon against the bad rushing defense.
67.5.
I'm sorry, 76.5.
Doesn't matter. More than.
And what's great is,
and I love, by the way, check the Saquon rushing and receiving. That's the one that you love to. I love to more than
108.
Let's go
for Saquon rushing and receiving. You also can do you can do all the sports, Joe. So you could make plays on all these. Like, we're looking your boy Max Scherzer, more or less than 6 strikeouts.
Oh, let's go.
Yeah. So Prize Picks has it all.
I haven't messed around with cross sports. Can I do Scherzer and Saquon? Can I do a New York Bonanza? I can.
I think you can. So download Prize Picks today, Dirtballs, and play daily fantasy sports with us. Make sure you use promo code DIRTY when you sign up. You want to hop into the games?
Yes.
I picked up 2 on you last week.
Yeah. So you're up 3 total, right?
Up 3 through 4 weeks. So it's tightly contested. Tonight, like I said, you got the 2 new quarterbacks.
You can. I just looked it up. I'm going more than Max Scherzer, more than Saquon. Let's go.
Yeah. Great. So Thursday Night Football, Battle of Horses. You got the Colts and the Broncos in Denver. Denver's just a 3-point favorite. What do you think here?
Well, Colts have been bad, man. Colts have been bad, but it's Thursday night. Thursday nights get wild. I'm going to ride with my boy Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan over Russell Wilson. It's basically what comes down to him for me. Let's ride.
I can't let you do that.
Matt Ryan, let's ride.
I'm going to have to, I don't like 3. I think this game is more of a push, to be honest. I think it's going to be a push. But for the sake of the show and the sake of my Russell.
Oh,
what?
So you think this is closer than a 3-point game, but you're gonna let's ride anyway?
Correct. I think it's right around a 3-point game or a push. A push or less than 3. But for the sake of Russell Wilson, for the sake of entertainment purposes,
you're going to do something. You're going to do something dangerous.
Yeah. I'm not going to eat Subway. I'm not going to go that dangerous.
It's pretty dangerous. That's too dangerous.
Yeah.
It's dangerous. You ever done things dangerous?
I can't tell you about that.
The weirdest thing ever.
I wonder who Russell's acting coach is, or if he has one.
I'm going to send you something right now. It's I feel like no. Well, fuck it. I'll send it to you after because it won't translate on the show because the audio is the same. But
okay,
there's a good. I saw a great, dangerous Subway commercial TikTok.
Nice. Well, I'm gonna ride with Captain Cringe.
Let's ride.
Let's ride.
Thursday night. Let's ride.
Yeah, let's do it. All right, next up.
I might fade Russell the rest of the year.
Like I said, he had a fine game last game.
Sure. I mean, I guess there's a chance he has another fine game.
Again, man, it's 4 games. Come on.
Honestly, I said this the other day when it was like there was like a 5-point when the Broncos had like 5 points a game. It's like maybe it was Russell the whole time. Remember the like weird, it was always be like weird Seahawks scores. Like, would you be blown away if this game goes to halftime 6-5.
No.
Some weird Russell Wilson
especially
first
two
half
teams
where he
that,
does a fucking
yeah.
he somehow he throws for 36 yards, rushes for -14. There's a safety involved.
Well, both teams are struggling to score, so it might definitely be a weird score. All right, your Giants are 8-point dogs. I'm up first against the Packers. London's weird. I don't even know if it's in London. Playing in the UK, wherever they're playing, is weird. I like to take the underdog traditionally because I just don't know what to expect. And I'm going to do that again here. I'm going to take the underdog Giants.
I'm also going to take the underdog Giants. Danny Dimes hurt. Tyrod Taylor hurt. Right now we're looking at probably a hobbled Dimes playing. It's going to be a disaster, but hopefully a low-scoring disaster. Hopefully Danny Dimes can slowly trot into the end zone for another rushing touchdown, an homage to the first ever touchdown scored in London, a rushing touchdown by Eli Manning back in the day where he outran Jason Taylor. I'm also going, I think it'll just be sloppy and weird and London gamey. And yeah, 8 seems like a lot for that.
Yeah. Our next game is the biggest spread of the week. Steelers at Bills, 14-point Bills faves. Kenny Pickett making his first career NFL start. Comes in as a huge underdog.
Where's the game?
It's in Buffalo. 14 points.
This is me first.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Buffalo. I like Kenny Pickett. I'm afraid of a backdoor Pickett here. But I think the Bills, with two outstanding performances to start the year, followed by their first L, followed by a bit of a sloppy performance, but with a nice comeback. I think they right the ship. I think they put up a bunch of points. It's at home. I do fear the Pickett backdoor cover. I like Kenny Pickett. It'll be interesting to see him in this environment this week, see what he's really got. But I'm going to go with Buffalo.
I just don't know how the Steelers can score points.
Yeah.
I don't care who's playing quarterback. I just don't think they're a good offensive team. Whether it's Trubisky, Pickett, whoever. And the Bills can put up points in a hurry. The Bills are weird, though. Then they'll just won't put up points. Like, they'll have a slow first half, and you're like, what happened? You have 10 points? But I think they're all over Pickett. I think it's just blowout city here. I'm going to agree with you. I'm going to go with the Bills to win and cover. All right. Chargers at Browns. Chargers are 2.5-point favorites. Chargers surprised me last week. They covered.
Yeah.
I just, I don't know. There's injuries. I don't know Herbert's status. It's obviously not easy to go west to east. But also Jacoby Brissett making me want some pasta. I got some leftover pasta in the fridge.
Brissett.
2.5-point favorites. I'm going to ride with the Chargers. I don't like this one as much, but I'm going to ride with the Chargers to cover.
I'm with you as well. I just think that if Herbert's playing and they're like, I just feel like the Chargers know that they've got to hang on. They've got to win these games. They've got to, do the best job they possibly can to pace this Chiefs team. I think they need a win. I don't see them falling to 2-3. I'm going to go with the Chargers.
Okay, Bears at Vikings.
This game. What time is this game?
What's that?
What time is this game? Kirk Cousins time? 1:00 Eastern?
Yeah, so it's 7.5, though. It's a big spread. Now,
yeah.
Congrats to Justin Fields. He completed 10 passes last week.
Fucking a new Justin Fields record. Career high.
Completed 10 passes. 7.5 is a big spread, though.
It is.
You go first, or is it me? It's me.
It's you, I believe.
I'm gonna go.
No, actually, it's me. I think you went Chargers. It's fine. Go ahead.
I don't like it as much. I'm gonna take the Bears.
I'm going to take the Vikings to win and cover. I just think the Bears can't score. 7.5 is a lot. I hate that hook, but I'm going to do it. And you'll probably get that one because anytime
that's what it's that half, man. It's that half.
Whenever I bet on Kirk Cousins, he lets me down.
Yeah, it's that half point.
Like just about every Vikings fan, I assume.
All right. Grit City, Detroit Lions travel to New England, where they are 3-point dogs. I don't know who's playing quarterback for New England. Gave up a valiant effort with a third stringer last week. They took the Packers into overtime in Lambeau. This one's at home. The Patriots are 3-point favorites. We have a call from a Michigan native concerning the Lions fans. I'm going to play that before we jump into this.
Great.
Yo, what's up, Dirty Sports? This is Hunter from Michigan, and right now I feel like I'm the only reasonable football fan in all of Michigan. Tiger fan Mags, listen, buddy, I love you, but I got to call you out a little bit. I went to a baseball game with Tiger fan Mags a little over a couple days ago, and I had to sit there and listen to him talk about how the reason that the Lions are losing is because their entire receiving core is out. Their receiving core.
They're scoring 45 points a game.
Balls by Jared Goff. So, yeah, that just to me shows how delusional Lions fans are. And the only person who can throw a breaking ball harder than Lions fans is Jameis 1-of-1 and probably Jacob deGrom. And then speaking of Lions fans, I am not a Lions fan. I'm actually a Denver Broncos fan. I've been a Denver Broncos fan my whole life, despite living in Michigan my whole life. And just looking at the state of the team right now, it kind of goes to show that what I was saying to people before the season started was right all along. My thing was I don't think that the Broncos should have mortgaged their future to Russell Wilson, even if he had shown up and played how everyone sort of expected him to play, because we're in a division with Justin Herbert shoot, I can't even remember the quarterback. I'm having a complete brain fart right now. But we're in a division with two elite quarterbacks, and our defense is good, but it's not like the defense that we had when Peyton Manning was a shell of himself playing. So I guess my thing was I don't see the Denver Broncos being that successful anyways, so why mortgage our future to a guy who has never been an elite quarterback? That's all I got to say. Peace.
I agree with everything that is said in this call. First of all, the idea of being so insane to blame your receiving core for the Lions, you're scoring 40 points a game and you can't fucking win. I don't think the receivers are the issue.
Well, yeah, like I said last episode, the Lions have given up the most points in the NFL.
Yeah. And as far as this realistic Broncos fans go, I 100% agree. Even if you had some sort of peak Russell Wilson, if you believed in that more than I did, if you believed Russell Wilson was once an elite quarterback and his team didn't matter. Even getting that guy, I said it. I said Russell Wilson goes from being the second best quarterback in his division to the third. That was the tweet when he got traded. I just think mortgaging your future right now, when actually probably your better play if you're a Broncos is planning for the future, stockpiling, trying to capitalize on maybe some sort of fall by the Chiefs and Chargers a few years from now when Herbert has to get the big contract and blah, 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 blah. But yeah, going all in on Russell right now seems crazy.
Well, look, I mean, the money, I would not have given the money they gave him. And it's not the same defense for sure. But if he, I disagree. Like, I think he was playing at an elite level for a few years. I think if the defense can play themselves at an elite level and he can play like a top 10 quarterback, top 12 quarterback.
Yeah, sure. All you need is to pay your quarterback $350 million and also find money to put together an elite defense. Should be fine.
No, my point is I would not have given him that money. I just said that. I'm saying if the defense plays, look, I still think they could be really good if the defense plays like a top 10 defense. Now that's to be determined.
Right.
Lions fans' insanity is wild to me. Like, the definition of a bad coach is one who consistently loses close games. The definition of a good coach is one who consistently wins close games. We all know how critical I've been of Zach Taylor. Dude, at the end of the day, they were winning close games last year, like when they had to. I'm just saying, like, I don't get the Dan Campbell defense at this point. I just don't get it. Like, we'll see. Let's make our picks. Who's playing quarterback for the Patriots?
I don't know. I think it's fucking
Brian Hoyer, or is it the other guy?
I think it's Johnny Lawrence from Cobra Kai. I think it's Billy Zabka.
So, let's see. Patriots quarterback.
What is the spread on this game?
See, this is what I find interesting. The Patriots are still 3-point favorites, and I know they're at home.
3, not 3.5. 3.
3.
Okay.
Looks like most likely Bailey Zappa.
Yeah.
Frank Zappa's kid.
Yeah.
Zappy? Bailey Zappy? He looks like he's 15.
Zip, zap, zappy.
He's taking the game reps.
Abba Zabby.
So this is it, Lions fans.
Remember,
right here. Yeah.
You remember fucking half bake? Abba Zabba.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
He gets outside on Friday. Freedom. Free. Goes,
this is but don't you think this is the test?
Abba Zabba.
Right, Joe?
Yeah.
Like, I know you're playing in New England, but Lions fans, you have to win against a third string quarterback. Now, again, he gave it all last week against the Packers, and they almost won. They didn't. And that's all that matters, whether you win or lose. Like, if they lose this game, they fall to 1-4. You ain't digging up from that hole. You're not getting out from that.
Now,
no way.
The Lions are record is what right now?
They're both 1-3.
Yeah. So somebody's going to 1-4.
Somebody's going to 1-4. And I'll tell you what, based on history, it ain't going to be the New England Patriots. But I'm going to do it. I'm going to ride with the Lions, man. Dude, I can just see them losing like a 1-point game to a third string quarterback.
It's tough because it is. I could see it being a close game. I could see it being a kick. I really don't. 3 seems crazy high.
I agree.
But also, I'd want to bet on Belichick and not on Dan Campbell. I'm going Abba Zabba.
You're going Abba Zabba.
I'm going Abba Zabba.
Wow.
Can we look at where this line opened? I wonder how it's moved.
Yeah, let's see. So the line opened Patriots -1.
Wow, it's gone up.
It's moved to New England. Yeah.
All right, I'm doing it. I'm right. Hold on first, and I'm also gonna. Come on, you got fucking forget it. I was gonna do a fucking Abba Zabba. You my only friend, bitch.
Multiple half-baked references this show.
Yeah. I wonder what comedian originally said Abba Zabba in the Boston Comedy Club.
So you're riding with the Patriots.
I am riding with the Patriots.
I don't know why I'm doing this. Why am I riding with the Lions? I'm doing it.
Dan Campbell, you're my only friend.
Dude, if they fall to 1-4, like, where does that take the Detroit Lions Reddit fans?
I don't know, but I almost feel like if they Monday's episode, if they're 1-4, I'm doing another Detroit Lions rant just for the people of Reddit, and then we're going to post it on the Reddit page. And I'm going to be like, you stupid fucks. You stupid fucks. Let's start this a month early. Boycott the fucking Thanksgiving game, you stupid, stupid fucks. You dumb bastards. What are we supposed to do? Not go to the games? Yeah, not go to the games, you dumb fucks. Like the Fords are just going to sell the team.
Oh my God. Dude, I'm on the Lions Reddit.
It's honestly, the Lions Reddit page is like 30,000 Jameis 1-of-1s.
It is. No, that's actually the best way to describe it. So I'm scrolling down. Somebody made this post. This is what I'm talking, guys. Dude, it comes to a point. I'm sorry. Again, take it from somebody who's lived and grew up in a city that has shitty sport. Like, it comes to a point where you're just like, you can't. You're mentally ill if you just think, oh, it's all peachy keen. You don't go to a restaurant that gives you bad service consistently bad, right? You don't just keep supporting him. This is the meme. You know, the famous Drake meme where he's going, like, and then the next one he's happy.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is the meme somebody posted where Drake's putting his hand up. It says, how to be a good fan. Shit on the Lions for having a losing record and terrible defense. The next one is the happy Drake pointing. Cheer on the Lions for having a great rebuild year and fun games to watch. This isn't dude, you're 1-3. That's not a rebuild. Like, what is wrong with you? You're right. Lions fans are Jameis 1-of-1. They all are. You're all a bunch of Jameis 1-of-1s. I can't wait for the book, Why the 2022 Detroit Lions should have won
are one of the great teams of all time.
Because they're losing every game by 2 to 3 points.
Written by redacted.
I mean, hey, Lions fans, are we planning to launch the Goff Pro Bowl electoral campaign? Because right now, Jared Goff is third in the NFL in passing yards. And here's the irony of that. Guess who's fourth in the NFL in passing yards? Matt Ryan. So maybe that stat doesn't mean shit.
I mean, how long have I been saying that, Andy? Is that not one of the Joe Prano sports staples?
I mean, it's unbelievable. I'm sorry. I'm getting lost in this. This is not something you want to get lost in, for the record.
No. Lions Reddit.
Dude, it's like I'm buried underneath a million empty Little Caesars boxes. Like, that's the Lions fans. You're buried underneath all these little empty Little Caesars boxes, and you're trying to find your way out, but you just can't do it for just year after year. And for the record, I don't think I've mentioned this. I think it's hilarious. Has anybody talked about this? The fact that the NFL or Little Caesars, it's probably Little Caesars, is using Matthew Stafford as the guy on the Little Caesars commercials.
Yeah.
In a Rams jersey. That they're the official sponsor, the official pizza of the NFL this year's Little Caesars. And they use the guy who left Detroit to promote their most famous pizza.
Yeah.
After he won a Super Bowl. I think that is absolutely hilarious.
What I love best about the Little Caesars Detroit NFL connection is, my favorite thing, and we've talked about it many times the show is me being blown away by the idea of $5 hot and ready.
Sure.
Literally the only word you can't use to describe the Detroit Lions on any given Sunday is ready. They're just not ready. $5 hot and not ready is the Detroit Lions.
No, especially not their defense.
Yeah. Defense.
That's funny. So you're going to ride with the Patriots. And I'm actually riding with the Lions.
Bailey Zappi, you're my only friend.
All right, let's move on. Let's get through these picks. Seahawks at the Saints. Who's playing quarterback for the Saints?
It's got to be Dalton. It's got to be. It's
The
gotta be
Seahawks,
Dalton.
the Saints are 5-point favorites. Let's see. Let's see who's starting. Come on. All signs point to Andy Dalton being the starting quarterback. Am I missing something newer? Should have prepped this ahead of time. My apologies. The Saints had 5 players sit out Wednesday's practice, including starting quarterback Jameis Winston. So let's just assume Andy Dalton's starting.
I'm picking the Saints to win this game and cover with Andy Dalton. I'm doing the reverse of last week. Andy Dalton win and cover. Jameis Winston lose and not cover.
Okay.
Joey No Chill money line pick of the week is the Seattle Seahawks if Jameis Winston starts. By the way, I sent it to CT. I almost included you on it, but I didn't want to set you off. Article from your favorite, The Athletic, last week, talking about how Geno Smith should be an outside shot for MVP right now. I said, oh man, Geno Smith going to get more MVP votes in one season with the Seahawks than Russell did in 10
Shut the
years.
fuck up. You guys are all delusional. 4 weeks.
He's
weeks.
Like Jeff McNeil, if he gets one MVP vote this year, he beats Russell Wilson 1-0.
4 weeks. Get out of here with all that. That's ridiculous is what that is. How many of these
Take it
guys?
up with The Athletic, not me. Take it up with The Athletic.
Yeah, I'm unsubscribing. They're ridiculous. I'm done. I'm done paying for that. That's absurd. Okay, I'm gonna go with Seattle though. With all that being said,
Even with Dalton, you like Seattle to play it close.
I like them to play it close.
Okay, I like it. You're riding with Geno Smith. You're riding with MVP candidate Geno Smith.
Although part of me just thinks he's gonna, like, the Saints have a defense. He's just gonna.
No, ride with your boy.
All right, I'll ride with the Seahawks. I'll do it. A lot of different picks. A lot of picks I don't like this week. Okay, Miami at New York. I don't know if Weekend at Tua is going to show up. I think we got Teddy Bridgewater. The Dolphins are 3.5-point favorites.
Ooh.
I'll go first.
Okay, you go first.
I'm gonna ride the Jets, dude.
I'm gonna go with the Dolphins. I don't like the half-point hook, but Teddy Bridgewater and Teddy Bridgewater is probably still better than Zach Wilson. The Dolphins are better than the Jets. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna ride the Dolphins.
I think the CTE gate's gonna come back to haunt them this week.
Yeah.
All right, Atlanta at Tampa. Wow, I just don't get this spread. I don't get it, Joe. The Bucks are 9.5-point favorites. Both teams are 2-2.
Yeah.
I think we're both going to agree on this.
We're going with the Falcons, who are 4-0 against the spread this year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's ride. Marcus Mariota train. Let's ride.
All right. Texans against the Jags. No, I skipped one. Sorry. Tennessee at Washington. Tennessee's a 1.5 favorite. I'll go first.
1.5.
It's in Washington. I don't care. It's in DC. Titans win and cover.
I think Washington might be the worst team in football. Washington or the Bears?
Yeah.
Tennessee wins and covers. They're turning their season around.
I agree. Houston at Jacksonville. Jags are 7-point favorites. Texans haven't won a game yet.
Texans haven't won a game yet, and yet are better than the Bears and the Commanders.
I agree.
That being said, I'm going to go with bounce back game for Trevor Lawrence after 4 fumbles.
I'm going to keep doing it, and then they're burning me. I'm going to ride the Texans again, man. We got a lot of different picks this week.
Good.
Texans cover. All right, San Francisco at Carolina. Is this Baker Mayfield's last game? Like, he's so bad. He's just bad. Niners are 6.5-point favorites on the road. Niners defense is just so good. I'm actually going to take them to win and cover.
I'm going to take the Panthers to cover. The Niners just like a little too inconsistent for me. I'm going to take. I don't like this. I agree with you. I mean, the Niners looked so good against the Rams, well, just defensively, but it's almost like here's what I'm gonna say about Baker Mayfield and the Panthers. I'd rather, when I'm playing poker, I definitely don't want to play a elite poker player, but I'd rather play a middle of the road poker player than just like a total donkey who's going to fucking chase everything and get lucky. I think that's Baker Mayfield. I think he's a total donkey. I think the Niners defense knows how to handle Matt Stafford right now, but they don't know how to handle a guy who's throwing the ball to the wrong receiver. They're like, wait, why would you throw it to him? We were fucking, no. He's like, because I'm crazy. I'm feeling dangerous. Also, I don't know any better. So I'm going with the Panthers to cover. Man, I like the Niners to win.
You're helping the argument for me not to pick the Niners, but I'll stick with the Niners.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I'll stick with the Niners. All right, Cowboys, Rams. In LA, the Rams are 5.5-point favorites.
You want me to go first?
Yeah, I mean, I already know who I'm taking.
I'm going to take the Rams to win and cover. I think the Cooper Rush Cinderella story runs dry. I think the Rams have to have a bounce back game after a tough loss. They're 2-2. I think the Rams win by a touchdown.
I think the Cowboys win and cover.
No,
I'm sorry, Sorry. Cover.
Okay.
I think it's a close game. I think the Cowboys cover. All right, Philly at Arizona. Eagles are 5-point favorites. We got a call about the Eagles. Eagles fan calling in to say we are
haters
underestimating how good they are.
Okay.
Dirty Sports, what's going on? This is actually former South Bend Dirtball, now Raleigh, North Carolina Dirtball, Austin. Driving on my way to work this morning, and I wanted to give you guys my thoughts on this Eagles team. I honestly don't quite understand where all the hate comes from and why you guys don't trust this Eagles team. I honestly think this is one of the most stacked teams in the NFL from top to bottom. You guys are the kings of believing in teams that have rookie quarterbacks rookie contracts and stacking teams around it. Their secondary is stacked. Their D-line is stacked. They have a great receiving core with A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. I think your only question mark with this team and why you refuse to trust them is Jalen Hurts. I think he definitely has the poise and the talent to lead this team to a Super Bowl. I'm not saying that they can go to the Super Bowl or that they're going to go to the Super Bowl, but I definitely think it's time to talk about them being contenders. I'm willing to put out a bet to you guys that the Eagles win a playoff game this year. The goal last year was just to build on something and make the playoffs. I think this year they're winning the playoff game. Joe, you know I'm good for it. I've sent you Venmos in the past, and we actually did a cameo not too long ago. So let me know what you guys think. I'm willing to put a bet down with you guys. Eagles win a playoff game. I think they're better than what you guys are giving them credit for. Let me know. Condoms are for the Dallas Cowboys, always.
Well, let me talk. Let's start from the beginning of that. I don't even necessarily think I'm underestimating. Like, the Eagles have beaten the Lions, the Vikings on a Monday night, which we all know how that goes, the Commanders, and the Jaguars. Now, the Jaguars' performance is probably their best game, in my opinion. 29-21, they get to Trevor Lawrence a lot, but they were Trevor Lawrence, 4 fumbles. Definitely a good performance. the best one I've seen in terms of showing me that they're for real. I think the Eagles are one of the better teams in the NFC, no doubt about it. Do I think they're actually Super Bowl winning contenders? No, because I think if you even look at, I believe Vegas has 2 or 3 teams. I mean, it definitely has Buffalo and Kansas City above them in terms of Super Bowl odds right now. I just don't think that the NFC is as good as the AFC. That being said, the Eagles have a great, easy schedule, and I could see the Eagles winning a lot of games this year. And I think the Eagles are obviously a playoff team. I actually think the chances of them not winning a playoff game might be because they get a bye. If the Eagles don't get a bye, I agree. I think the Eagles win a first round playoff game. My fear, if I was somebody that was wanting to bet on the Eagles to win a playoff game, was buys don't count. And I think that they'll have a tougher matchup in a second round game than they would have if they had a first round. That being said, I am the king of building around a quarterback on a rookie deal. I also think that stacking a team when you have an elite quarterback on a rookie deal and trying to win within that window is smart. I don't think Jalen Hurts is an elite quarterback. So, that doesn't, the Eagles obviously believe in him. And so the Eagles have done just that. And it's paid off to the tune of the Eagles being 4-0. So basically, to answer your call, I have no interest in betting against the Eagles winning a single playoff game. But I'm happy to bet on the Eagles not winning the Super Bowl. I'm happy to bet on the Eagles not getting to the Super Bowl. So if you want to, slide into my DMs or whatever, we can make those bets. I just think the NFC is pretty weak this year. So betting against a team, any sort of competent NFC team winning a playoff game seems dumb to me. And that being said, they've got the Cardinals, Cowboys, Steelers, Texans, Commanders, Colts before they play the Packers. And they could be 10-0 or whatever that is, but I have a feeling they lose one of the games in there. And honestly, going to the Cardinals this weekend for a late game in Arizona doesn't seem like it should be a test, but I kind of think it might be.
Yeah, I think a lot of what you said I agree with. I'm not fully buying into Jalen Hurts yet. I have nothing against Jalen Hurts. He faced some adversity from what happened in college and then he had to transfer after being benched. I hope he does great. You don't know. My thing when it comes to playoffs is guys we know. I know what I'm going to get from a lot of these quarterbacks, whether it's a Aaron Rodgers or a Jimmy Garoppolo. I think I know what I'm going to get from these guys. I have no clue. Jalen Hurts might ball out. He might shit the bed. Playoff football is completely different than regular season. It's completely different. Lamar Jackson's won one playoff game. So I think about those things when we discuss playoffs and going far, and that's the only thing I consider. They have a good team. They have a really, really, really good team. And I agree with the caller. They have stacked the right positions. I don't believe in Jalen Hurts yet. He has to show me that.
Do you think that the Eagles make it to the Packers game undefeated?
No.
Do you think the Eagles lose more than one game between now and the Packers game?
I think there's a good chance. I think this is a big trap game.
Cardinals, Cowboys, Steelers, Texans, Commanders, Colts.
I'd be surprised if they had 2 losses. I think this week is a big trap week.
I think this is a big trap week. I think Steelers game is a big trap week in a couple weeks. And I think Colts on the road is a big trap game for them in a couple weeks.
Yeah. So there's a bunch. I agree with you too. I don't want to make that bet. Fuck it. I'll make that bet. DM me.
Ooh.
DM me.
Now let me ask you something. If you make that bet,
because I agree with you, Joe, they're going to end up getting that bet.
Are you rooting for them to get a bye then?
Yes.
You prefer that?
Yes.
Because you think they have the ability to beat a team that's not.
Correct.
Ooh, I like it. Like it.
And then
if I didn't have money spread all over fucking, the map right now with dirt balls, even though I said I was never betting ever again, I'd hop in on you.
I like it. We'll do a small bet, $25, $50 bet, whatever. That's cool. I'm going to get some money back from the Lions. From the Lions not winning 9 games. Yeah, DM me. We'll set it up. And with
So
that
here you go. Trap game. Eagles, 5-point favorites in Arizona.
I'm taking the Cardinals to cover.
Me too. Because we hate the Eagles.
Yeah.
Yada, yada, yada. We both take the Cardinals.
All right. Ravens, Bengals, Sunday Night Football in Baltimore. Ravens are 3-point favorites, so they're saying it's a push on a neutral field.
Is Randy in the comments right now?
No, I didn't see him.
I don't know. Listen, I love our boy Randy Ruther. I think I've made that clear, despite the fact that he's now got a propaganda campaign against me, calling me the backstabber. I am the Vince McMahon of the Dirty Sports podcast. Like, I was actually trying to inflate Randy Ruther's, character by just like calling him out. I basically called him he who shall not be named. And now he's all turned 2-0 since I called him out, blah, 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 blah. But what I want to know from Randy, and maybe he'll have to tweet us on Twitter, is what does Randy even want me to do here? Like, in this, if I'm sitting here going, I'm not really sure how I'm going to play this game. Does Randy want me to pick with him? Does he want me to pick against him? I don't know.
Well, look, the Bengals put up 41 twice last year. They blew them out both games. I mean, it was an offensive explosion both games. I think the revenge factor is real for the Ravens. The Ravens D is sus for sure, but the Bengals offense has been, last week they opened up great as far as the play calling, and then they go back to this hand the damn ball off to Joe Mixon between the tackles, which it's not working. And I understand you got to play call around a offensive line. It can be shaky. I think the Ravens win this game.
Wow. Okay. But it's 3 points.
So. Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. I think 3 points. I can see this being a very good. You have 2 great kickers, right? Like, the kicking game really matters here. You have 2 guys who are pretty much money through 55 yards.
Yep.
Okay, I'll say Ravens win and cover. I think but this game could go either way. I think this game is a close game. I just really think it's going to be real close. I'm going to say Bengals cover. I'm going to say Ravens win, Bengals cover.
Let's go. I'm going Ravens win and cover for Randy, because I think that's what he wants me to do.
Okay.
For Randy. Now, I believe in Joe Burrow more than I believe in Lamar Jackson. I think Joe Burrow is obviously, and this goes without saying, the future of the Cincinnati Bengals. I think they should give Joe Burrow the money. I'm racist. No, I'm not. I just don't like quarterbacks who run. It doesn't make me feel good that Joe Burrow doesn't remember games from his career already. That's a factor as well. But, you've already been to the Super Bowl. That being said, I'm going to take the Ravens in this game because they're home.
Yeah.
And it's in prime time.
It'll be a good game. Like, I'd be shocked if this wasn't a good game.
You're welcome, Randy. And hopefully the Mets have already secured their series, so I'm watching this game. Otherwise, I won't watch a second of it because there's no last button.
All right, our final game, Monday Night Football. The Raiders travel to Kansas City. Chiefs are 7-point favorites. I'm taking
easy for me. I'm taking the Raiders to cover.
Oh,
yeah. I think the Chiefs are I think the Chiefs might be the best team in the AFC. I know everybody's on the Bills hard. I can't believe, how much value I was able to get on Patrick Mahomes preseason MVP, pick. Like, we're a year, 2 years, whatever removed from being like, 8-time Super Bowl winner, 14-time league MVP, Patrick Mahomes. No one's ever going to beat him. And now everybody's sort of, just like, oh, well, the Bills are really good. What about the Dolphins and Tua? Ooh, look at Jalen Hurts. Meanwhile, Patrick Mahomes is out here still playing video games. That being said, backdoor Carr. I just think it's Monday Night Football. It's two AFC West teams. I think it's going to be somewhat close. Probably a 10-point game turns into a fucking, 7-point game at the end. Whatever. I'm going backdoor Carr.
I'm going to ride the Chiefs to win and cover.
Got it.
All right. Week 5 in the books. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram and TikTok at The Dirty Sports. I'm at Andy Ruther. Slide into my DMs. Whoever made that call. Let's make this Eagles bet official.
I'm at Joe Prano on all social media, specifically Instagram and TikTok. And also, there's a Joe Prano comedy Facebook page. I've been putting up some stand-up clips over there. And at Fix Your Life on Twitter. JoePrano.com for shows. I've got some shows in and around LA the next few weeks. And also Sunday, October 16th in South Lake Tahoe at McDuff's Pub, we are doing a charity show for the Boys and Girls Club of South Lake Tahoe. We will be doing, we'll be playing in the Edgewood Boys and Girls Club tournament that day, and then we'll be going over to McDuff's that night. It is all former hosts and guests of the show. Myself, Dirty Slides co-host Andy Lazarus, former guest of the show, Dennis Gubbins, and then, of course, everybody's favorite 3 emoji name, Pizza Astaro. 4 dudes doing some charity stand-up. If you're in the Nevada area or the Sierras or the Lake Tahoe area, come out and see the show. McDuff's Pub Tahoe on Instagram. Follow them just generally, and then also go there and see if you can't get yourself some charity tickets.
Right. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We're going to wrap this bad boy up. We'll see you on Monday. Have a great weekend.